ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Reidox4Life podcast show. And we're your hosts. I am Levi. This is Lamika Renee. And today, ladies and gentlemen, our main topic is how service providers are making a difference in their community. And today, our special guest is Dr. Julie Brons.
Yep, that's right. Just like the medal, except with an S at the end. So,
okay.
Thanks for inviting me, guys. I'm so glad to be here.
Happy to have you here with us today, Dr. Julie. So I'm sure our viewers would love to know who Dr. Julie Brons is, and what is the one thing that you wish you knew upon the onset of your career?
Well, I've been a chiropractor this is my 33rd year in practice, so it's kind of like I have to go way back in memory. But one of the things that I would say is it's becoming even clearer as we've been in practice longer, and I finally feel like within the last 5-6 years we've got the right team. I would say the people that you have on the outside of you, so like your accountant, your lawyer, your coach, the people that you do community with, those people can make a huge difference in your life. And if you get those people in your life, and sometimes they'll just be there for a season, they'll be the right person for a season, and then you need to take a switch to a different person. But if you have a sense in your gut that somebody that you're working with, and maybe probably like you're paying them like an accountant or a lawyer or even a coach, that they may not be the right fit for you anymore, or you're not happy with the service that you're getting from them, have a conversation with them and say, okay, these are the things that I'm seeing. These are the things that I feel like are not being met and not being answered appropriately. Is this something that we can change in the relationship, or is it time for me to switch for somebody different? I am loyal to a fault, and I have stayed with people for years after I should have switched from them, because it's like, it's comfortable, it's easy, it's like, this is the person that I know, but the turmoil and the frustration that it causes is not worth it. And if the person that you've been working with respects the questions that you're asking and is open about what their limitations are too, then you can still retain that relationship. But some people can't do that. They just get mad, or hurt or whatever. But ultimately, you have to make sure that the advice that you get is the right advice for you. Sometimes the advice that you get is hard, but it's what needs to be done. But sometimes it's just not the right fit anymore, and then switch. Don't wait. It's kind of like hiring and firing. I think I've heard this, slow to hire, quick to fire. Same thing with the people that you have that are giving you advice on how to run your business or other aspects in your life.
Yes, definitely, most definitely. Yeah, I definitely agree with you on that relationships and friendships, have expiration dates on them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Did you find out early in your career, or did you find out a little bit too late at this point? But I got to start doing this early. If you're going to put an expiration date on the relationship that you deal with, with your employees or your friends.
It's been a slow learning process, I would say. Are there things that I wish that I would have learned earlier? Absolutely, and done earlier. For one, like my accountant, I stayed with for way past his expiration date. Now I have a dynamite accountant, but it was, and again, it's, once I switched, then I had like a period of 4 years where I tried 4 different accountants, and none of them, I had no qualms about firing them until I got the one that I have now that I tell him every time I see him, I'm like, I love you, Sam, are you the best? But because he explains things, he teaches me things, he's on my side. And I feel that, and it just makes a huge difference. You know, it's kind of like with Sean and Lacey. I know they're on my side, and sometimes, you know, when we coach with Lacey, she'll say things to me, and I'm like, okay, I know, but it's hard, you know. So sometimes you're told things that are hard to do, but you know they're the right thing to do.
Yes.
And I mean, again, like I said, I practice with my husband, and we've been in practice together for 33 years, and it's you know, some of it is like sometimes I'm ready to make a change and he's not, and vice versa. And so it's a little bit of this dance that you kind of, you know, plant a seed, and you know, it's like you have to be respectful of that too. And you know, I mean, most of the time, again, you know, we've been doing this for a while, so we kind of know when to just listen to the other person and say, okay, all right, I trust. Again, obviously, I'd hope that my husband has the best for me in mind, you know, but sometimes you just have to trust that when your spouse and partner says, I think we should do this, that it's the right thing to do at that time.
Mhm.
Yes.
That's great. You know, Dr. Julie, what I've loved about what you're saying up to this point is that you talk about consistency, and it sounds like, you know, I've said this before, but I have a mentor. Her name is Trish Winkler, and she uses the 3 powers of the universe, and the 3 powers of the universe is consistency. So the first power is consistency. The second power is consistency. And the third power is consistency.
Yeah.
So you got it. You said that you stay consistent in knowing the difference in letting people go. You have stayed consistent in hiring the right team, and you have stayed consistent in a business that is exploding of 33 years. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Yes, absolutely. What is the biggest challenge in your line of work?
Oh, I think I have to say for us in our office, I think the biggest challenge is finding like in the office, not the external people, like I mentioned earlier, but finding team members in the office that that can do all the things that we want them to do. And really it comes back to again, the consistency. How do we train people? How do we review with people? How do we make sure that they understand clearly what it is that we're expecting of them? And is it reasonable, given their skills, that we're expecting them to be able to do, you know, 15, 20, 50 different tasks in a day when maybe we've only trained them on 10? I can't expect them to be good at answering the phone if I've never really truly sat down with them and said, okay, these are the things that I want you to say when people say X, Y, and Z. You know, so finding good team members is a challenge, and then managing it, because, you know, I would have to say in our office, for the most, like, my husband is pretty much full-time chiropractic. He does everything from, you know, new client intake, all of, you know, when a new, he does everything that is chiropractic. I do chiropractic care, but I also manage the office. You know, so I do most of all, you know, making sure that, you know, things are done right from a back office perspective, all the paperwork and all of those types of things. And so it's like I have to wear 2 hats, and having people that I can rely on, that I've trained appropriately, makes my life easier, because that means I can just click through and see people and not have to worry about, oh, the phone rang. Are they going to, you know, what are they going to say when they answer, you know? So I think that having that management, having those systems in place, and again, that's where, for me, coaching has been so important, because it's helped us outline, well, what are the tools that we have available that can make that training of people more effective, so it's not so time consuming.
Definitely, man. I definitely agree with you, 100% right there, because we receive coaching, also from Black Diamond. And, and they, I tell you what, they don't mislead you.
No, they don't.
They don't mislead you at all, right? They
Yeah.
all, it seems like they all want to take us all in the same direction,
Yeah.
I mean, from our own perspectives, right? In the direction that we're all, going in,
Yeah.
but the direction is high.
Yes.
It's a higher
Yeah.
direction.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
man, and I just love that so much about, just being around all the like-minded people that
Yeah.
is
Yes.
aiming to go in. There's no what do you call it? There's no crabs, as you call it. No one's
crab
trying
in
to
the
I
hold
know,
you
yeah,
down.
no crabs in
Yeah,
the bucket. Yeah,
yeah,
pulling
no
it
one's
back
trying to
down.
hold us down, right? They
Yeah.
all want to see us succeed, and we all
Yes.
support one another. And I love
Yes.
that about that community, and
Yeah.
so it's really awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep, you got
Absolutely.
it, Julie.
Sorry, what?
I said, you got it. You have found strength in yourself and others. And I love it. You know exactly who falls into what, through experience. So good for
Yeah.
you and your husband on knowing whose role is what in your
Yeah.
business. That's great.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what habits have you embedded to help you succeed, and what lessons have you taken from them?
So comes back to those 3 rules again: consistency.
Yes.
I have a pretty set schedule throughout my day of how I do things. And I can feel, so we just went through this. So we practiced for 5 years out in Washington State, then moved here, and we've been in the same space for 27 years, or this is our 28th year here. And we've done new paint, new carpet, all these new wall cover, whatever, all of these things. Well, we decided that we were going to do a major overhaul. So the last 2 months, we've been in this process, and we just moved in 2.5, 3 weeks ago to our new old space. But because we were in this interim space, my schedule was off. It was like there was all these extra tasks that I had to take care of and things that didn't happen. So my workout schedule got off. It's like I usually get up at 4:45 in the morning. I go up, I make coffee, then I work out for about a half hour. Then I read my Bible, then I shower, then I make breakfast, and then I go to the office. So that's been my morning normal routine for years. Well, throughout this process, it got off, and I can tell. So for me, I think one of the best things that you can do for yourself is schedule your day so that you know what's coming, so that it's not, you're not running around confused, and that you take enough. If if I'm paying bills, for instance, I set a timer. It's like, okay, for the next hour and a half, this is what I'm doing. I'm not answering my phone. I'm not checking emails. I'm not checking Facebook. I'm not doing any of these other things. This is what I'm doing. If I can block schedule my day and be very consistent and stick to it, life is better. It just leads to less confusion. And, there's always going to be times where you get knocked off your schedule for whatever reason. And I think one of the things that I've also learned is schedule more time than what I think it's going to take, and then use the bonus time that I get for something else that's on my list that just is kind of one of those things that, well, I can get done whenever, or just take the time to go for a walk outside or whatever you want to do. But consistency in your schedule, I think, is really important. And with that comes self-care, taking care of yourself. I think, again, as care providers, it's so easy to not take care of yourself. I'm fortunate because I'm married to a chiropractor. We practice together, so we can check each other. But just things like, going to get massages or acupuncture or meditation, whatever your thing is or things are, do them and schedule them in, so that, and those are holy times. You don't let yourself be knocked away from that unless some major things happens.
Definitely, I definitely agree with you. And you know what? By allowing yourself to have more time, so like you schedule yourself, a task you think is going to take an hour, but you give yourself an hour and a half.
Mhm.
And you know what? You finished early. That's a sense of accomplishment. I'm working
Yes.
fast. I'm
Yep.
moving. So
Yes, exactly. It's
I
like
can
pat yourself
breathe.
on the back and say,
Yeah.
way to go, you know? Yeah,
Got done early on
absolutely.
that one.
Yeah,
Definitely.
yeah.
All righty. Excellent. So, oh man, that is great. So how can your local residents and people actually from, somewhere else get a hold of you guys to experience the chiropractic service that you provide?
Well, they can go to our website, Performance Chiro NTC, so like Performance Chiropractic in TraverseCity.com, performancechirotc.com, or they can check us on Facebook or Instagram, Performance Chiropractic TC, or they can email us at gethealthy@performancechirotc.com. So those are probably the best ways to get a hold of us.
Excellent. Well, folks, you heard it right here from Dr. Julie. Hey, you can get a hold of her and through all those outlets. So thank you everyone for listening to the Redox for Life podcast. And again, we're your hosts. I am Levi. This is Lamika. And thank you again, Dr. Julie, for your service that you're providing in the community. And we really appreciate you.
Thank you so much for having me on, guys. Have a
Thank
great
you.
day.
All right,
Thanks, you too.
Thank you.